Hello there, my crypto big brothers and sisters, and guess what? Ron is in the building. Hey, Papa Ron, what's happening?
Rod, I'm doing well, thank you.
Well, that's good to hear.
Long time no here.
Yeah, it's been a day.
You know, when you say it's been a day, it's like, you know, even when I'm not on the computer, it's like I'm grabbing my phone and hitting my Blockfolio or my ABC folio. Man, where's it at? Where's it at? You know, and it's just crazy. And you'd think that these kind of spurts up. Matter of fact, I read once one that said from this amount to this amount, it took 4 hours to jump up that $1,000. Then from the next $1,000, it went down to 3 hours. I think it jumped up. It's just nuts. I mean, you know, it's exciting, but you wonder what's really, honestly, is it really a frenzy that people getting into it just don't think they can? They've got to buy it. They got to get in on the action.
You know, my youngest son decided he's going to get in on it. He's starting out at $500. That's a lot for him, especially his little sweet wife. She don't want to spend any money, but you know, they're starting to see this.
Good for
how
him.
This stuff is going. Yeah, I think it's awesome. That'll get him started. Yeah.
I told you I had that one daughter. She put 500 in July, and she's touching 6,000 on that.
Oh, I know. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, by the end of next year, it may be touching a lot more than that. Even if my youngest son puts it in today, and next December it may be worth about 15 or 20,000. Who knows? Especially if it gets up to 100 grand, like we're thinking.
And not only that, you can't believe how my phone rings all day. People want to talk to me about Bitcoin anymore. You know, I've mentioned it in passing or a few months ago, and all of a sudden they see it on the news. We better call Papa Ron on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking all day.
I saw it yesterday morning when I was getting ready for work. They had the news on. It talked about Bitcoin. Yeah, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
So you know, and I think we probably reached 2% of the world's population now. Think what's happened when it reaches 4%.
Yeah. Well, here's Bitcoin right now. Currently, it's at 16.7, and it touched 19 today, so it's had a little pullback.
Well, that's all right. It's always got a pullback, so it'll bounce higher.
Yeah. But Rod and I were looking before we turn on the cameras at these markets. These are all the exchanges that handle Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And right now it looks like Bitfinex and BitHump's over there in Korea, and they're at 19.8 right now.
That's
Can you see that?
$19,835. I know it.
Here's Corbett at 19.5, and they're also over in Asia.
And if you go down a little further, that Indonesia is up to 21,000. We were looking at
right here.
20,000. Yeah, 20,000.
21 Bitcoin Indonesia, 21.3.
21.3. That's right. 21.
So all these averaged up, folks, is what gets this amount here. If you know where that comes from. So even if it says 16.7 and you go over to Coinbase, which I'm not going to be able to find on here, but yeah, we think Coinbase does a lot of business, but look how far down the list they are. But Coinbase will even be, you know, they might be a couple $100 less than that. So it's interesting. Speaking of Coinbase, matter of fact, we had an article here, Rod, that says that Coinbase is at the heart of the Bitcoin frenzy. And of course,
look at that.
That's here in the U.S. Probably a lot of the United States people that are buying Bitcoin seem to go through Coinbase. And I feel their fees are a little high. They do have a sister company. They have two now, but one, GDAX. And they say the fees are on there lower. I'm signed up with both, but you know, I don't know. But what I like about Coinbase, and a lot of people don't like them, and that's fine, but they just have a good, simple platform. The other day I cashed out a little bit of Bitcoin, and it was in my account. It said it'd be in this Saturday, and it was in Thursday. It was in 2 days before they said it would be.
Oh, wow.
Which was like the next day after I cashed it. It was immediate.
Yeah.
So Coinbase is easy to get your money out when you want and buy when you want. And so even though their fees are a little higher, I kind of like the platform.
Yeah, I do too. And it's easy to get in from Coinbase to Litecoin to Ethereum to fiat money. It's just real easy.
Yeah, and let me tell you something I read today too. I was going to mark that article, but these articles become obsolete 20 minutes after I find them. So I better throw them all out there right now because they'll be dead news tomorrow.
That's right. Well, in the next 30 minutes, they'll be dead news.
Probably. What it said about Coinbase is there's more apps downloaded on cell phones from Coinbase than any other app in the world.
Oh, is that right?
I think so. Now I'm going to have to get that article. But yeah, it said Coinbase has more apps on people's phones than anybody else.
Oh,
that was amazing.
Yeah.
People checking their price and their little stash, I guess. Even though they shouldn't leave it on an exchange, they should get it off into a wallet.
Yeah,
I'm still
really.
arguing with one of my children about that. They're just comfortable on it. But, and this is kind of what we were talking about the other day, going back to that, Rod, and I'm not going to leave that till I can drive my point home to you.
Yeah.
And it's we were talking about Bitcoin becoming a shortage. And it's like, how can this many people be buying it? There's only 16 million coins out there. And we know some big men have more than multiples of it. How can there be this many? And of course, we were talking about supply and demand and all that. But if you look at like Coinbase, all their coins and all their transactions, it's like in a pool. So they don't have it's almost like the stock exchange, I guess. They don't have as many coins they're holding as they are selling because people are leaving them on the exchange of Coinbase. If everybody that had Bitcoin bought on Coinbase pulled their coins off the exchange, I don't think they'd have enough to go around.
Well, no wonder when they start having a run on the bank, they stop.
They shut down
they shut down.
Yeah, they know they ain't got it. So all these coins sit in there, and it's just kind of a money moving around. I want to buy, I want to sell, but man,
it's kind of like a bank, when they take a loan, they put that money out, and you put a savings account in or whatever, and put money in. Well, they can make 10 loans off that whatever you put in the savings account.
Fractional reserve banking.
Yep. And that's how they do, and that's what these exchanges do too.
So anyway, folks, it's best to get a wallet and pull that coin off these exchanges. And plus, if they ever shut down for any freak reason, whether it be electricity or whatever, you're not going to have to fight to get your coins back.
Amen to that.
Yeah, it's just good. Here's also an article we got 17 minutes ago, and it's already outdated.
And we showed you what that price was.
Yeah, Bitcoin
it's as much as what they're saying Korea's trading for, but Korea's trading for 21.
Yeah, Korea hit 21 today, and Bitcoin hit. I think it touched 19 here on some of the exchanges.
Probably did.
It's moving quick.
It is. Gotta hold your breath while it goes up.
Just like this guy, 20,000 before Christmas. Duh. I mean,
what kind of analysis is that?
Well, and bless his heart, we didn't pull this article up to poke fun at him or this FX Street, but these things are changing so rapidly with this volatility in this Bitcoin price that 20,000 is a safe bet, but man, it's outdated. We're going to be to 20,000 before the 15th, maybe.
I know he will.
Well, it might tomorrow morning. I mean, so
you just never know.
Yeah,
it could be.
So anyway, again, we're not saying anything mean about it, but God, the title of this video, Rod, is basically that Bitcoin has become a banker's nightmare.
Yeah.
And honestly, we could probably show you a half a dozen to a dozen articles every day about Jim Cramer, who's got his show. You know, he's the big stock guru on CNN or one of them, or some banker or some financial, hotshot that's downplaying Bitcoin, that's saying it's nothing but a bubble, there's nothing to it. There's articles like that out there all the time, but it's weird.
And I bet you there's a lot of articles saying also that a lot of people are pulling their fiat money out of the banks and putting them into the crypto, so it's hurting the banks.
I think there is some of that. Yeah, I agree with you, Rod. And it's not just hurting them, but I think they feel threatened at this blockchain technology and them losing control over the populace.
Right.
If you got Coinbase that are signing up 50 to 100,000 people a day that are not just to getting in on the speculation, that's what's bringing them in, and that's fine. But now they're learning about decentralization and getting away from central banks and the banker and a cashless society. So Coinbase, in essence, is waking up. Not them individually, but you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, for the majority of the population, it is waking them up.
Right. As people get into crypto, they're learning what it's about, and they're saying, why are we under control of these banks and bankers when we can have free currency and trade it to who we want, anytime we want, for almost no fees, without anybody saying we can do it or not? I mean,
back in March, we were there. We had to learn all this stuff. At least I did.
Well, yeah, we had to learn about the crypto. We had to learn about the crypto, Rod. But you and I have studied these banking problems and fractional reserve banking
I'm not
for
talking
years.
About the banking. So I'm just talking about the Bitcoin,
crypto, and the advantage of it.
Decentralized and remember how long it took us to learn how to say the jargon.
Yeah, just to learn the vocabulary.
Yeah.
What's a node?
Yeah, what the hell?
But so I think they're starting to feel the pressure a little bit to see this thing, people jump in. And that's another thing about the price, Rod. We talked yesterday how it is kind of a true market as long as there's no bankers buying enough to fluctuate it, and we discussed these future contracts that are starting actually on the 10th, a couple days from now, and the CME, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, they start on the 17th or 18th, so they're going to start trading. They're going to start placing bets or hedges against the price of Bitcoin. Now they said that each what I'd read is that each contract is worth 5 Bitcoin, and a trader can trade 1,000 of those Bitcoins or place a hedge against it. 1,000, so that'd be 1,000 times 5 is 5,000 Bitcoin. Each trader can hedge against or bet against, whether it be up or down, whatever they want to do. So I don't know how many of those it would take, but it could fluctuate the price or influence the price some. I think
it's going to backfire on them. It ain't going to go down.
No, this is a good point. As I got looking at how's these like Chicago Mercantile Exchange, they're closed. I believe it's 48 hours of every week, like from Friday night till Monday morning. No trading. So, and look at the volatility of Bitcoin. So they can't even get in there to sell out their contracts. So, that's an important thing to look at. They have other things that are limitations on these exchanges that might backfire against them. Of course, we're not traders and we're not big finance men, but it's interesting. Even even the Queen's Bank just kind of pass off Bitcoin. Now here's one interesting too from CNBC, one of the reliable news sources that they state here the world's biggest banks reportedly want to halt Bitcoin futures launch.
Yeah.
So now they're a little worried about it, some of these banks, and saying, wait a minute, maybe we're moving a little too quick on this.
Yeah, because it is volatile, like you said. And if they bet down, we're on an upward trend. We're bullish right now. We're no freaking, what is it when they're not bullish? They're
bearish.
What? Bearish, yeah. We're not doing a bear market now.
Yeah, and some of the articles we've seen in the past, I think a lot of them are coming in to bet that it's going to pop, this bubble, so they want to say, hey, the price is going to drop. If they bet enough on that, hoping to turn it around and to decline it, they might not be able to turn this around right now.
No, ain't no way. Even if they bet against it for it to be bear, guess what? It ain't going to be bear. It's going to go up. Well, right now it went down, a couple of thousand? So they'll probably think, oh, yeah, here's a bear market. And I'm bull crap. They don't know what they're talking about.
They're not near as smart as we are.
and I'm not even into it. I'm just an old man. I can see the writing on the wall.
Well, we just try to look at this with logical common sense. And it's the people that are directing this market right now, I guess.
Absolutely. It's the people with all the faith that and it's not just in the United States, it's worldwide. Everybody has faith in this.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Hedging their bets here in the United States with the CME and this other COBE and NASDAQ's getting involved. But 60% of Bitcoin sales happen in South Korea and Japan.
That's right. So how does it really affect them?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what really happens.
Yeah, it will be. It won't.
And this article here kind of talks about why some of the reasons this global cryptocurrency and Bitcoin market is boosted by rising acceptance. We agree with that. Surging investment in venture capitalists, highly volatile value of cryptocurrency.
Can research.
Yeah, I don't know about some of that title. And Rod, we should have spent a minute. I mean, we skimmed this, but let's just move on.
Just if they want to read about it, let them go.
That's right. We'll put it in the description box, folks.
Yeah, it's interesting to read.
You can figure it out. So basically, what our job is then is to throw about 16 articles up here, read the titles, and say this article be in the description box. Check it out.
Yeah. Now here's another banker that's throwing out a prediction, and I think he's going to be way off.
Bitcoin to peak at 60 grand next year before spectacular crash. I think that's his big thing, and I think at sometime there's going to be a great drop in value on this. It's not going to stay up to 100,000 or forever. There's going to be some major corrections, people taking profits or something. So, I just don't know when that's going to be. There's just still so many people that are learning about it and coming into this platform that I'm not sure it'll even happen next year. This could be 2 or 3 years out.
But when it gets close to 21 million peak, I think that's when to buy again.
Yeah. Well, 60,000, that could be a drop in the bucket, that could be by Easter. I mean, we don't know. We just have to see, I guess.
At the rate it's going, it's something else.
Well, here's another thing, too, on these futures we were talking about. And we're talking about how South Korea, there's more sales on Bitcoin in South Korea than anywhere else.
Yep.
And issues a ban on Bitcoin futures trading.
How about that?
Yeah.
See, so not all the world is going to go along with, the American traders or futures thing. So that Chicago bank thing ain't going to be worth a crap. You can't get the whole world involved.
You know, I actually read this article. Don't ask me to remember it, but
well, like me, I can read it 1 minute and forget it the next.
Well, yeah, and even the highlights are says, yeah, that's interesting, but then they give the reasons in here why they've decided to do this, and just like China shut down the exchanges, I think there's just going to be too much playing around with the price and all, like those Chinese exchanges did. They were talking about fractional reserve banking. They were selling multiple Bitcoins on one Bitcoin, just hedging, you know, putting the buyers and sells, and yeah, so it was kind of like a fraud deal, and that's what they wanted to prevent. Well, same with this. I think they see that this futures trading is just not kosher, at least at this point, and so they're kind of banning that. But with what's going on with the price and the amount of people that coming into this, like we mentioned earlier, the bankers have to be somewhat concerned about this, and that's why they're pushing for more regulations. They want it controlled. They want to try to control the price. Yeah, they're going to try anything they can to get this under control of the bankers and governments. Well, the bankers run the governments in most cases, I guess, but so you know, even at these prices at 18, 19,000, folks, if it goes to 40 or 60 grand, it's still a buy opportunity right now. Even if you drop a couple grand into it, that money will have an effect, and 4 times its amount maybe. I mean, we don't know, we're not predicting it, but as what history has shown thus far and the way this is amounted to, it's time to get in.
I think so. That's what I told my son. You know, even though he's going to drop 500 right now to see how it's going to act, and if he makes another 500 in a matter of a couple of months, hell, he'll be ecstatic.
Yeah,
I know I would be, and I think it'll be a lot sooner than that, personally.
Well, folks,
Can't believe it.
Appreciate you putting up with us.
Yeah, we just rattling on today. We just saw these things, thought we'd bring them up to your attention because we thought they were so interesting that everybody's speculating all this stuff, and Ron and I feel like it is going to go up. I mean, just look at the trend. The trend is up in Bitcoin, and yeah,
we're having plenty of fun doing this, and we like checking these things out every day and following it and talking with each other, and yeah, it's just been great.
Yeah, talking to each other and talking to y'all. We hope y'all enjoy it as much as we enjoy bringing it to you.
Yeah. So good luck to you, folks. We hope you all prosper. What is that? Is that the Vulcan thing? Live long and prosper by Spock?
Oh, yeah, live long and prosper. Yeah, by Mr. Spock. That's right.
Enjoy your day.
Yeah, be sure and give us a thumbs up, and God bless.